All right, one more time, again, sorry, this is always something I'm harping about, but routing. This shouldn't be something so difficult. 20 plus years on to doing this computer DAW audio stuff, right? So let me pull up what my latest problem is here. That's not cool. Why does that even show? That's stupid. Okay, let's see how this works. Sorry, I'm just trying to position this thing so we can see everything. Make this bigger. So I got a call, and I do these things from time to time. I got a call where, maybe I should just draw this out. So let me make a rectangle. So we're gonna have in the booth, isolation booth. I'm just gonna say ISO booth. Hopefully you can see that. Maybe I should make this a little bit bigger. Yeah, there we go. So in the ISO booth, we're going to have a guy doing a narration for a commercial. I am going to be in the... Oh, wow. Is that how that works? Sorry. I'm not super good with this software yet. So in my control room, I'm going to have me. Oh, how do I default to 18? Is there a way? No. And then in California or wherever this is going to be, there's going to be the client who's actually paying for this commercial to be, for this guy to come in here and record his voice for this commercial. So I'm going to call that the remote client. Man, I just really want to default to a bigger size. Come on, guys. So what has to happen is... there's going to be a mic in the ISO booth. Wow, man, I am just lame. Why don't I do this ahead of time? Okay. I make this 24. Wait, why does this change? Oh boy, I don't even know. Anyway. Wow, now it works. So there's going to be a mic in the ISO booth. I'm probably going to have to play him something, a pre-recorded thing from my DAW. So let's say, well, yeah, this is where it's going to get really ugly. So I'm going to say Reaper's here. So I'm going to be playing him something. He's going to be recording it. The client's got to hear it, and the client's got to be able to speak back to him. So... Let's just make the elements here. So here's the client's headphones, or the talent's headphones, right? Isn't that funny how we call them talent? And I'm gonna write down some functions that are important here. Man, I wish that I think there's a way to change how this text appears in this thing. Maybe I could put it on the bottom or something. But just for now, in case I haven't bored anybody out of their minds yet, this is what the issue is. So one thing is. Talent to recording. So I'm calling it talent to recording. That's just the actor's voice going into the DAW. We have talent to remote. So this is so that the guys on Skype or whatever can hear what the actor is doing. And this might be part of another piece. We'll deal with that in a second. We need to hear talk back from control room to talent. So that's me talking to him, which may or may not be separate from the recording playing, but we can actually probably okay, guys, I'll get to you in a second. Sorry. Okay, so that's I have to be able to talk back to the ISO booth, independent of the actual pre-recorded signal going to him. What would we call that? Let's just call that the backing track or something. So we're going to copy this one. Backing track. From DAW to talent. Okay, how about that? So whatever's going to be recorded, like that pre-recorded track, is going to go to him. Wow. Okay. So we're already seeing a bunch of problems here, but let's see, what else do we have? We need talk back from control room to talent, talent to remote. We also need control room to remote. And is that going to be different than the is that going to be different than the signal that the DAW is putting out so that they can hear the recording in real time? It's probably going to be mixed with it, so we're probably going to have some noise problems. I have some issues here, but let me just in case, I'm going to put DAW to remote as well. Okay. So one of the things is that while we want biggest issue of all to me is that it's really hard to send audio from one device to another on Windows. And I know that you Mac guys say that it's way easier on there. I don't really see that that's actually the case, that there is the aggregate drivers, but then you'd lose your low latency audio, which would be a problem here. Yes, I could do this all in hardware. I could actually take analog outs and plug them into things and make this all work, but that seems silly to me in this day and age. So for the remote client, I'm just gonna say this is Skype. Okay, how do I move this back one? It's back. Okay. So I'm gonna say that this is Skype. When we say remote client, we're talking about Skype. Okay. Just make that bold, underlined. Maybe that'll be easier to see. And so we're gonna have. I don't know, what should I use for this? I mean, there's all kinds of more things on here, but I'm just going to use these symbols. I know it's not a big deal. Can I double click to add text? No, that's not what I want to do. So I'm going to do Skype in, and Skype out. And I know there's probably 20 of you already that have like a easier, better way to do this, but I'm just gonna go from here. So let me look at these. I'm just going to move these functions over to the side. Thankfully, the ISO booth one is pretty simple, right? We've got, well, so far, I could end up breaking this, but we got his mic, we got his headphones. There's not too much variables in there. But for the control room, a lot of it, we're talking about Reaper. In my case anyway, because I use the world's superior DAW. And so we're going to have a bunch of things here. So we definitely need to have for Reaper's inputs, ISO mic in, right? I mean, ideally, that's the only thing we'd have in Reaper, but that's not really what's going to happen here, is it? Or, you know, maybe I'm jumping the gun. There could be different ways. And we've got to find a way to get, you know, I'm going to move this to the bottom. Can I do that? Text. Position. Bottom. Oh, yeah, perfect. So remember, we have to get these things out to all kinds of stuff. So what is the man, I don't even want to say it. I'm just gonna, man, all right. I'm gonna call this the Reaper main out before anybody gets all triggered on me. Now main out would be your master fader in Reaper, and that goes you know, that's your normal routing path. You know, thankfully Reaper will let you route all kinds of insane ways, so it's not that big of a deal. But that would be your normal control room out, going to your speakers and everything, your main fader. Maybe I should send that to the client, but there's so many different ways to figure this one out. Let me just real quick. Why is this not me? This isn't interesting. Looks like the invite is broken. Did they? I know Facebook changed a lot of stuff, but wow, that is interesting. That is really interesting. Sorry, I'm just 1 second. I'm just dealing with some little Facebook issues real quick. Yeah, this is gonna break everything. Okay, so I'm just gonna throw in a comment because there's some people who should really be seeing this and understanding this routing. So okay, so we got their main out, which, you know, I could send to the client, but there's issues, right? I don't want. We gotta be really careful here about. I'm gonna lay these tracks out. Sorry, let me just send it back. Send it back. Send this one back more. I lost my square. Send this one to back. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to use these squares as a track, okay? I know this isn't the best way to represent all this, but there's so much going on here. So I'm just calling this is a track. I'll make another track right here. And I wonder if I can just color these things. I know you can do a lot with this thing. Make sure you can see everything. Okay. Background color. Ah, there we go. So this one I'm going to do a background color. Ooh, okay. So this is going to be just in case there's recorded audio on here. In case there's some kind of backing track. I'm just going to call that backing track. Okay. And you know, for this I want to move that text to the... Okay. So right now we have, here's the ISO Booth's mic. I know this is going to get crazy in a second. I'm going to make this a little bit thicker so you can see it better. Yeah, I'm sorry that I'm not like super good at this thing, but I'm just going to turn that red. Is this a pastel? Make it really bright red. Okay. So we know this one. Okay, this one is not too tricky, right? The mic is going into this track, whatever track number this is in Reaper, and where this track is going, that's a different story. So we'll get to that in a second. You know, and none of this would be this difficult. I'd have this drawn out in 2 seconds. Were we doing this analog with the patch bay or whatever? Very simple. But because it's so hard to route audio from one place to another inside the computer without losing your low latency drivers, that's why this stuff is so goofy. So, yeah, I wonder, why is it that I can't invite? Like, it looks like I'm viewing this as somebody else. It's really bothering me. I don't know why. It shouldn't be bothering me so much. Where's me? Sorry, this is still taking a while. Okay, so the mic out of the ISO booth, that's going to the ISO mic in track on Reaper. We got that. We got the input. That's one down. We can actually cross out. So let's talent to recording. We got that one. We're gonna color this something different. So I'm gonna color it blue. That one's in the done pile. Okay. Getting to the headphones. Now, how are we going to do that? We need to send Skype to both me in the control room and to the headphones, but we definitely don't want it. We don't want it coming back to the remote client. We don't want that sound getting back to them. So this has to just go to the headphones, and it has to just go to me. And so I'm gonna make a little circle for me. Control room monitor. Okay. So that's the control room monitor. That's what I hear in here. And here's where it's going to get kind of funny too. It's a control room mic. Now this mic conceivably should be the same mic to go both to the remote client, to Skype, and to the talent in the ISO booth. There could be some problems with that, but let's deal with that in a second. I'm not sure how I should do this, but I'm just going to go Skype out, and I'm going to draw a line. And I wonder, should I do... I'm going to do orange and yellow. They're different enough from each other, and they're different... Or actually, let me do yellow and brown. I want to have two different colors here, and I'll show you why in a second. We may change this back, but for right now, Skype out needs to go to the headphones in the ISO booth. And my control room mic needs to go to the headphones in the ISO booth. Now, it's quite possible that this could be the same signal, and there may not be any issue whatsoever. But let me just for now, so we can take a look at it. Both of these signals are going into the headphones. The control room mic, well, that looks a little bit too close to the red. That might get confusing. What about this green? Okay. Well, that's really dark. I don't know. My eyes are kind of going, so sorry about that. I don't know. Okay, so we sort of have this, but I'm not going to mark this as done because this is not as simple as it seems. Okay, sorry. One second. Okay, sorry. Get back to this. No, it sounds like it's rambling and stuff, but this is why. This is like in real time. You got to figure this junk out, and it's just silly. And I know there's a couple people who are going to go, "Oh, just buy a Mac and throw it on and work perfect." But no, it's not quite true. Okay. So what else do we have to get? We have to the Skype in. Skype in has to hear both my mic, and I'm going to color this. This is going to have to be a different color. So Skype in. So this is starting to get kind of crowded already. Let me see if there's some things I can do here to make this a little nicer. I'm going to color this one baby blue. And maybe I can make dots. Okay, so that'll distinguish it a little bit. Maybe that's what I should have done earlier. See, this is why I'm not a graphics designer, but so sue me. I'd like to resize this one, but I don't know how. Sorry, you're watching my my art as it goes. Just gonna... Okay, so the Skype has to hear my mic. I have to hear their Skype signal in my monitor, right? I absolutely have to hear that. Change that to gray or something. Now, this is going to be the same signal. How it gets there is going to be tricky. So you know what? Maybe I'm going to color. I'm going to make this the same color. So this is like that gold kind of color. And it's not dashed. It's just solid. Okay, so this same signal. I mean, there's really no choice. Skype's only got the one output, so. You know, if Skype had a VST system or something, that'd sure make it a lot easier. So here comes Skype out. It's going to go to my control room. What else do I have to hear? I have to hear the output of Reaper and the talent. That normally could be the same exact thing. I'm not really... That shouldn't be a problem. So what I'm really going to have to do is hear Reaper out in my monitors. Now, where I'm going to hear that from, I'm not sure. So right now I'm just going to make a generic output from Reaper, and this could be bad because I might screw this up. So we're going to have to remember. No, why isn't that giving me an arrow? just make that a big fat red with the dotted line. So that's my Reaper output. In 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. Got a lot of things going on here running the school, sort of, as much as we can. Trying to get back after the no word hit us, you know. Anyway, okay, so we know that Reaper's output's going to have to reach my control room monitor, and we know that there's going to have to be a Reaper output that gets to the headphones in the client, to the talent. We don't know what these are now, so we're gonna have to take these lines out. In fact, I'm gonna make these things a little bit different so that I know that I'm gonna be ditching these later on. So I'm gonna make these dotted for now. Okay, so we're gonna get rid of these, but this is the basic flow. This is gonna have to happen. Reaper's output is gonna have to get to the headphones and my monitor, and Reaper's also going to have to go to Skype in somehow, along with the control room mic. Okay, I know this is getting a little... let me make that go to back. Okay, so I think these are really all the things that need to happen. Or sorry, the backing track needs to get to the headphones as well. See, this is starting to become a kind of crazy. So backing track needs to get to the headphones, and remember that things change whether or not you're in play or record as well, and so that's going to make things a little sketchy. Yeah, sorry. So now we have all these different signals going all over the place. So, and when I say Reaper's output, that's kind of everything from Reaper is getting there, plus the backing track. We don't necessarily need to be hearing the backing track. So a lot of these things are what do you send to your monitors and what do you not send to your monitor? What do you send to the talent and what do you not send to the talent? What do you send to the remote client and what do you not send to the remote client? There's a lot of this here. Let me, sorry, 1 second. Hello, Kylo Music School. Oh my God. I love these telemarketers and scammers. You know, I just told them take me off the list, and then they send me a robocall. You know, whoever's in charge of like caller ID spoofing and stuff, man, you guys need slaps. All right. Anyway, so we have all these decisions to make of who needs to hear what, and But let's start knocking this down. So the isolation booth, the headphones in there need to hear me talking. They need to hear the backing track come out of Reaper. Probably need to hear themselves. And yeah, I need to hear any recordings that happen. Which is a little scary because sometimes the monitorings can be on, monitorings can be off. But let's just say that we don't really have a good way to send this control room mic into Skype because of the way Windows routing works. You know, this is the big pain, right? Now, one way I could do this is to make a Reaper track and not arm it for recording. Just have it as an input monitor and then send that out to, for instance, let me get total mix up. Because I'm using an RME device, I have total mix, which would let me loop back routing. So for every loop back I do, though, of course, I'm going to lose. I'm going to lose a pair of inputs and outputs on the audio interface, which is lame. But I've already got this set up for 31 and 32 are a loop back, and 25 and 26 are a loop back. So I could actually use this 25 and 26 to go into Skype. This is where things get really ugly, really hard to hold in your head, and just really ridiculous that we can't just send things back and forth. So what I'm going to do here, I think the best, so I could conceivably send my mic, use just like say 26 or 27 or whatever it is, and go into Skype with my mic, and that would be it. But then how am I going to send all the other junk to Skype? So we can't really do that. So what I'm going to have to do, or what I think I should do, is I'll make another track here. To color it something else. I know that I should be using some kind of color scheme that makes sense, but I'm going to call this control room mic. We're going to send that to everybody else. So I'm going to send this thing. I really don't know how to use this draw.io very good, but I'm trying. So we know this signal is going to be solid. Let's move this out of the way so we don't get these two confused. I'm going to give this a solid color of purple. Yay. Okay. So that. Now I can, because of the way Reaper works, I can put this in input and not record. I'll show you that. So if I were to have this track armed here, which I'm gonna, because I'll probably blow something up, I could record disable input monitoring only. See that? So that would let me use this for monitoring and not end up recording it. I mean, it wouldn't hurt to record it or whatever, but there's no point in it. So that's the control room mic. So now the ideal would be to take this track and send it out to Skype and to send it out to the headphones. And I could do that in a couple different ways. And I'm thinking that I'm probably going to want to have a track in Reaper that I'm going to send. Let's think about this. I could do this in several ways. I could do these all independently, use the different routing in Reaper to send out to different places. I already have output 3 and 4 set out there that goes to the headphone amps. I'm going to move some of this stuff a little bit. So out 3, 4. And well, the other thing is, how do I get the Skype to me and to the headphones? Should I do that with a should I do that with another loopback track? Now I'm talking about 3 sets of loopback tracks or 2 sets of loopback tracks. Well, that kind of sucks, right? I know I was doing this somehow, so let me take a look at total mix again. Oops. So 31 and 32 I have loop back. 29 and 30 I have loop back. What do I have for 27 and 28? I don't know what this means. 27 and 28 is not loop back. So 25 and 26. So I could send Skype out to a loop back and bring it in. I could send see, I'm using 31 and 32 as the as a loop back. It's my main outs. Oh man, this is so confusing. Oh boy. So I'm looping back 31 and 32. And in this case, I think my ADAT 1 and 2 go out to 31 and 32. Anyway, that yeah, let me not get super confused on this loopback, but there'd be a way where I can, in fact, let me just do this now. I'm gonna do this as the Skype input. In from Skype. And I'm gonna need an out to Skype. I'm gonna deal with that in a second. So we want to make sure that I wonder if I can just use these things. Might be a little bit easier. Oh, no, how do I do that? I want to move this arrow. So I'm going to take the output from Skype. I know it sounds a little bit goofy. I'll send that to out 3 and 4. And the control room mic is going to go to out 3 and 4. This is really ugly now. The talents out could go there. The backing track certainly needs to go to out 3 and 4. So really the Reaper output in general needs to go there, except for not necessarily the ISO mic in. Is there anything in here that shouldn't go to out 3 and 4? ISO mic in, backing track, control room mic in from Skype. So theoretically we could just make the main out go to the headphones out in the ISO booth. That may not hurt whatsoever, but for right now I'm just going to say that I'm going to send these things to 3 and 4, and I'm going to send you know, we could do a independent volume level in here. This is already getting ridiculous. So everything from Reaper so far needs to go to the headphones, and so that's going to go from out 3 and 4. So I'm gonna remove this control room mic to the headphones, and I'll remove the Skype out to the headphones. The Skype out is going to go to in from Skype. Okay. Now these are getting a little too close together. It's making this a little bit difficult. You know, I'm really going to have to look at how I have this total mix routed, because there's going to be an issue here. Oops. So Skype out's going to in from Skype. And I don't necessarily need that to go to my monitor. I'm going to have that. Maybe I'll have my main out be the. Let's see, because I do need a signal that's going to go to Skype. So what does Skype need? It's going to need the ISO mic in. It's going to need my control room mic. And it's not going to need in from Skype. That definitely, you don't want that in there. So I can take that out of the master. I could probably send the Skype in from the main out. I think that is doable. So let me try that. So I'm going to have main out go to Skype in. And the way I would do that is I'd make it so that so let's do this again. So I'm going to make another. I really don't like this arrow thing. I'm going to paint this different. Turn this around. Yeah, I know this isn't the best way to represent it, but you know, I've never really found a good way to really show what's going on. So they're going to hear the main out. They are going to hear the backing track. They're going to hear control room mic. What they don't want to hear is the input from Skype. Have no use for that whatsoever. All right, so this is what the Skype guys want to hear. They want to hear the talent. They want to hear the backing track along with it in context. They want to hear me talking. They don't want to hear me talking, but they may need to hear me talking. They don't need to hear from Skype. What they're really hearing is the main Reaper mix, so that's probably fine. The trouble is, how do I get that main out into Skype? That's where these things get ugly. That's where we're going to have to look at, are we going to use the loopback or whatever? But let me just make sure that the rest of this stuff is taken care of. So I could choose what goes to 3 and 4, output 3 and 4, but what I probably really should do is make one more track in Reaper. I'm gonna move these things down so they're gonna uncluster flux this a little bit. What I really should do . Like I say, I'm really not good with these drawing things. Maybe if I did this by hand with a pencil or something, maybe it'd be a little bit better, but maybe not. I doubt it, actually. I wish this wouldn't snap. How do I turn off the snapping? Anyway, so that's what's going on. This is going to the main out. This is going to out 3 and 4. And really the way to make this go to out 3 and 4 is probably just to add another track. And I'm going to call this one headphone send. And I'm going to color it this color. And you know, if I thought of this ahead of time, I really could have made this a lot nicer. I'll send this to back a little bit, but not that far back. Send this one to back. Wow, how do I send things just one level back? Oops. Maybe I'll do this a different way. Front, yeah, there we go. Front. Okay, so what I really want to go to do now is headphone sends is going to go to out 3 and 4. Can I do that? Hopefully that's clear. I mean, this is kind of janky, but oh man, is there a way to disable? So the ISO mic in is going to go to that headphone send track. So this is all the Reaper's internal routing. Yeah, I'm having trouble not snapping the okay. Backing track's going there. In from Skype's going there. And control room mic is going there. I know how bad this looks, but I don't really know how to use the software. Anyway, you can tell what I'm doing here, right? I'm all these tracks are going to 3 and 4, which is the headphone send, and the headphone send track is going to actual physical output 3 and 4. So output 3 and 4 is going to go to the headphones. All right, and that is as solid as it gets. We know finally we have something that we can count on. We'll color that green or whatever. Let's see, why is that not working? Why are you not coloring? I just don't get it. There we go. So we can ditch this. We can ditch that. So we wouldn't send the headphone send to the main out. We wouldn't send, let me just save this because I might end up using it just this way that it is. So we wouldn't send the headphone send to the main out. Probably, well, I really don't want to send, so here's the problem. I don't want to hear myself talk when I'm talking to them. So it may be that the control room mic, I want to send to the main out, but I don't want to send to my monitors. Now, how do we do that? So we may need another mix. Oh boy. May need a third mix where I hear them, but I don't hear me. And actually, in from Skype, those guys definitely don't want to hear themselves. So, yeah, that's a little tricky. So main out is going to have to be minus the Skype out signal, and the yeah, that's pain. So I could make another output. Oh man, see, so let's do that. So out 3 and 4 is for the headphones. I could do, you know, I got 32 outputs on here. I should be able to make all the different mixes I want. It's just a little bit of trickiness. Well, if anybody knows how to turn off snapping, oh, it's control. Okay, perfect. Okay, so the Skype guys, I'm just gonna make one called out to Skype. I'm not sure what that's going to be yet. I could actually do this with a with another track. That might be the way to go. But for now, I'm going to call this out to Skype. Oh, control copies it. That's kind of not what I want to do. We want to hear the. Okay, alt disable snapping. They want to hear the ISO mic, they want to hear the backing track, they want to hear the control room mic, they don't want to hear themselves in from Skype, they don't want to hear headphone send. They really would probably like to hear the main Reaper out. And so really I should probably, as that would be the mix, you know, that'd be your normal thing. I should probably, see, I have the total mix switcher thing, so I could switch between inputs. So I could listen to their outputs. I could listen to what they're hearing, and then I could switch back to what I actually want to hear, which would be minus me. But that, am I going to do that by making separate Reaper outputs. And all this falls apart when it comes time where we got to actually send from Reaper to Skype and from Skype to Reaper. That's where this all breaks down, gets ugly, because now we're talking about, you know, either hardware going off there and sneaker netting some analog cables around, degrade the sound and whatever that way, or this loopback thing, and that's where this pain is coming in. So I'm gonna fight that loopback battle in a little bit, but this would definitely be the way that you could have, you know, 3 different mixes: one for the client, one for the guys on the remote end, and one for me here in the control room. And I've kind of done this in a not as smart way as it could have been, but yeah, I would really, let me just say this: send to Skype. So, you know, we're looking at a bunch of different tracks here, but oh, why is that? That is weird. Yeah, I really don't know how to use this software. Anyway, I'm going to clean this up, and then I'm going to get on, repost it, and explain the whole thing. But you get to see, you know, this is the, I don't know if I'm just scatterbrained or what, but this is the, this is why this stuff is such a pain. You know, you got to think about all these little things, all these little problems. So let me approach this